Well, hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Guys, how's it going?
I was going to say it's Monday. I'm not so sure about the happy Monday, but we might get there eventually in the show.
That's true. That's true. Yes, it depends on your take and your neck of the woods, and yeah, that's true. Because right now, if you're over in Iran or the Strait of Hormuz, you're sucking canal water, literally. So you know what I mean.
It has definitely not slowed down at all, and I've been very interested to see the technological warfare that's been going on, because it's like, oh yeah, Netanyahu has been taken out. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, just like blasting that all over the internet.
Exactly. And to some degree, I guess that kind of plays into when we're talking AI later tonight, because that was like the big thing over the weekend. Oh, this is all AI deepfakes and yada, yada, yada. And I'll tell you what, this whole, it's a propaganda war at this point. Total propaganda war.
Well, and that's the big thing that they had warned about with Iran. It's like they have very good technological capabilities when it comes to having cyber warfare. They're our number one real enemy when it comes to it, behind China.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And well, so shall we bring up people out there? I know Lad Lewis was here before this thing started, but for some reason his comment didn't show up as I'm pulling up StreamYard. So Lad, how do you get it and I don't have it? How is that possible?
Because I was here earlier than you.
Well, aren't you special there? Okay, there it is. Well, fine. Hi, Lad. How's it going? Oh,
yeah,
man.
I was in here when he had popped that, and I was like, oh dang, well, I guess I should probably pull up the mobile view as well so I can say good evening to him.
There it is. There it is. And Adam, welcome. Appreciate you being here. And good morning to you, sir. Speaking of necks of the woods, right? We're here at 7 p.m. Eastern, and for you guys, it's 6 p.m. if I remember correctly. So, yeah.
Yep.
And good morning to Adam. And Andy. Andy is in the house. Now it's a show. There we go.
It's been a little while. It's good to see her back in the chat.
Yes, indeed. And now, BC, I agree with listening what they're doing and listening to the podcast today after oil, or they're taking, the desalination plants. That's funny. They didn't hit them yet, I don't think, did they? I know there was talk about potentially.
That's what Iran said happened.
Oh, so, really?
It's been kind of late on confirmations for things. So, there's still a lot we're yet to know. I do know that they did strike part of their island that is highly used to move oil through the Strait of Hormuz.
I did hear about that. And Andy's saying they didn't hit the desalination thing.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of information warfare going on. So, we kind of expected this, because it's going to be a big propaganda war, and we're just going to have to take some time to actually figure out what is true and what is not true. And that's a big part. There was a lot of talk going on with like poly markets, because there's a lot of, no surprise, degenerates are betting on war with Iran, and they have to take some time before they actually get the payout, because they have to have it confirmed by a third party source.
Yeah, no, so, I mean,
we have to wait for the same things they do.
Yep, makes complete sense. I mean, you want multiple confirmations, especially if you're betting on stuff like that. Who struck this? Who blew up that? You know what I mean? And
Prime, I'm a degen, but I'm not that degenerate.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, me either. And what's this say? Curtis Knight, welcome. We are wizards. We're wizards. Look at the beards. Just saying.
Some of us more wizardly than others.
That's true. Some of us try to keep it a little slick, grayer but slick. There it is. Anyway, Oh man, well, we got a show tonight. We're going to talk. Obviously, we're going to be talking AI again. We're going to kind of try and push that off a little bit till toward the end. We've got a bunch of stuff with Trump. We got a bunch of stuff with crypto. So we'll jump into it, and yeah, and we'll go from there. BC, what do you say? You wanna kick us off or what?
Sounds good. And people get to hear a little bit of a different view from BC when it comes to Trump. Because normally they're like, oh, he's over here like shilling for Trump. And it's like, I don't always shill for Trump, but I do say what he does right. And when he gets stuff wrong, he really, really gets it wrong. So we'll, we'll get into that one a little bit later. But you sent this article over, and I thought it was kind of BS, you know? I thought, crypto is crypto, and if you make a mistake, you eat that. And apparently that's not the case with
Right.
Aave. So crypto trader loses nearly 50 million in Aave trade. Protocol offers $600,000 refund. So a trader, after swapping 50 million in USDT for Aave, received only 324 tokens after confirming a slippage warning. At Aave's current price of 111.52, the tokens received are worth roughly $36,000.
Yeah. Hey, look at my $36,000. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Aave founder Stani Kulechov said the protocol will attempt to return about $600,000 in fees from the trade. A crypto trader lost nearly 50 million with that swap, and the user attempted to buy Aave with 50 million worth of stablecoin on USDT through the Aave interface, which I think is going to be the key part on why he's able to get a refund. Is he didn't go through something like Coinbase, or he didn't go through something like Kraken. He did it directly through Aave. So according to the statement, he said he got an extraordinary slippage warning, which you probably would get if you're trying to spend $50 million. You're going to move the price. You're going to move the price with that. So he clicked yes and still bought it. And my thinking is he shouldn't be getting $600,000 back.
Exactly. I mean, come on now. I mean, and not that $600 and is in any way comparable to the 50 mil, but the point is, listen, it's DeFi for a reason. You big boy, you press button, you lose. That's your problem, or at least in my opinion. But obviously, not if you're using Aave. Steve Hickey is in the house. Appreciate you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how could you lose that much just via slippage? I mean, to go from 50 million to
it depends on the liquidity pools that are being provided for this. I got to believe that the liquidity pools for Aave on any DeFi exchange are not going to be deep. Now, it might be a little bit better if he was going for Bitcoin, but it'd still be major slippage on Bitcoin or Ethereum, because that's ETH based, right? So Ethereum, it just, and right here, I like Andy. I love when Andy's here. I love it. And I don't disagree. They're going to do this every time somebody hits the button and basically pays $36,000 for a coin. I don't know.
No, he spent 50 million to get $36,000 worth of coins.
Yeah. And if he had actually
getting 600K back is like, whatever. We made 48 million plus off of this guy. That's fine. We'll give him 600K.
But like my biggest problem with it is you could have very easily just bought this in batches and had no problems.
Well, exactly.
Put a little bit here, put a little bit there, put a little bit here, put a little bit there. But like, if you have 50 million and you're going to ignore the warning labels, you get what you deserve. It's no different than any other system in the world where it's like, oh, well, if I went to go spend $50 million and I made a boo-boo, You know, there's going to be harsh mistakes from it. And if I only get a portion of my earnings, I might be able to do something about it legally, but it's not going to cover the whole $50 million.
And just to the point, it wasn't like Aave made 50 mil on this, because remember that goes to the liquidity providers. So
Right.
I mean, basically you got these guys that literally had like, oh, you want my Aave? You're gonna pay $36,000 for it, sitting there in the pool, and because of the slippage, woohoo, they made out like bandits. And I just want to bring this up because Andy brings up a good point, especially if he does live in the US. I mean, you're talking capital gains. He can also take capital losses. So there you go.
But it's like, this has very little to do with government, where he's not going to really be paying capital gains on a $50 million purchase. Because he's only going to be paying capital gains on what he actually purchased. And yeah, it sucks that you took nearly a $50 million loss, but you read the warning label and continued anyway.
Yes, and you verified you read the warning label.
It'd be like anybody where it's like, oh, I read the warning label on this iron. It says do not iron clothes on body. Well, screw what that says. I'm just gonna do it anyway. And you got to pay me back for the iron and like my skin transplant after I severely screw myself up. No.
Well, that could happen in this country anyway. I mean, people sued Red Bull because it didn't give you wings. So, I mean, let's see. I'm just saying.
And that's why they say Red Bull gives you wings with 3 eyes now. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So
hey, American Maker, welcome.
So the $600K that he got back from the fees, how does that come along with taxes? Is that because that's too much for a gift? So then what is that, like repurpose of the fees transactions? Like, what's he got to pay on taxes on that,
Well, and kind of to the point Andy's making here, right? The you buy it, there's no capital gains. But he can take. I'm pretty sure he can hit the loss on that if he's smart, he would sell that sucker and hit the loss, and then whoo. Again,
yeah, but the big problem with taking the capital gains loss on that is you're only allowed to use so much of it a year. Yes, it rolls over and you can use a little bit of it, but it's only going to help you so much.
Well,
and
of course.
And
of course,
I don't know. I feel like people should learn from their mistakes. And the only way you learn from your mistakes, and the only way we really learn as humans, is through pain.
Yep. Stove hot.
That's super painful. And even with him being refunded, it's still super painful.
Oh, hell,
you have like $1 million and you lost 49 million. Well, you know what he's never gonna do? Make that same mistake again. And it's a mistake that if you're in the crypto space, we've all done this. How many of us have gotten refunds? Oh, just because he has $50 million, he gets a refund? Go screw that dude.
No, facts. You take your you got to put your big boy pants on when you're playing in the DeFi space. End of story. Well, in crypto in general, but okay, he's doing trading in DeFi. Learn first before you're going in there and like trying to make moves like this. I mean, my opinion, self-responsibility. I know there's not a lot of that going on these days, but call me nuts.
Well, I mean, it could have been something like somebody told him, oh yeah, to take a USDC or USDT, use this platform and buy Aave.
Okay.
He just did it all at once and learned the hard way to not listen.
Badel, listen, I got a bridge to sell you. You got 36,000. It's cool. It's good. You'll own it. I mean, that's basically the same thing. It's like, dude, you got to do your own research if you're gonna go drop 50 mil. Just saying.
But it's like when I made mistakes in crypto, where's my refund? I've made mistakes in the DeFi space, and I like mistook what layer one I was moving money over on and I've lost money. Where's my refund? Or
You
where's
didn't
my
make the
slippage refunds?
headlines.
Yeah, but it's like just because he has $50 million, he's gonna get some of his money back. No, screw you. Eat your
Agreed.
loss like everyone in the crypto space has eaten their losses. Just
No.
because you have more money doesn't mean you get treated differently in the crypto space.
It
And
should
this is
not. It absolutely should not. You're right. Do you guys actually, either of you guys actually use Aave? I know Andy does.
I've
Either of
never
you guys-
used Aave.
Okay. Hey, Tech Man is in the house. Yes, we are the furry face only.
I bet they only refunded the 600K in fees just to make themselves look a little bit better.
Yeah, but screw
Because
that.
as they made headlines, if they would have sat on their hands and said, you know what, sorry, you learned, you out, my bad, then everybody
and then you would have
shooting on them.
And then you would have had real crypto people like me backing Aave 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and Andy's got it right. It's the cost of tuition, baby.
Yep.
Cost
You're going to pay tuition one way or another to the market or to a mentor.
Yep.
Pay your dues.
There you go. And Curtis, is that a Curtis? Curtia?
Yep.
Welcome.
Curtia Shri.
Welcome. I don't think I could say that 5 times fast, but welcome anyway.
Maybe on Friday.
Yeah, well, that's true. With a little bit of liquid courage in there. Yeah.
With a little bit of slurring too.
Well, that's what Joe says Shuby does. He talks in cursive. Boom. There it is.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. We should probably move this thing on. I think we've kind of beat that to death. Oh, we're gonna start with this. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. Well, it ties directly into the next article. So I believe my audio is shared. If it is not, you guys let me know. Let me full screen this for you so you can see it a little bit better.
The weeds with state policy, and we have relationships with the Banking Commission, the Secretary of State's office, all the major players, going back years. So, and also have knowledge of some legal aspects, the technological aspects. So, for instance, this is a little precursor of what's going to happen in 2026. The AARP represents elderly people, and these Bitcoin ATMs are being used to scam elderly people. So they've gone around the country to put onerous regulations in other states, basically driving the industry out of their state. So defensively, a Bitcoin ATM company is, they put in a bill. It's filed now. It's not public yet, but they came to
it is now, by the way,
for advice on how to navigate the waters, and we're basically telling them even the industry bill is too onerous. So we're trying to, I think if we don't have any legislation, it should just keep coming back, and eventually AARP might get its way and kill the industry in the state. So we're going to try to make it as least onerous. Working with the banking commissioner, who's very nice and friendly. The deputy banking commissioner in a meeting last week at ARP basically called out the AG's office and said, "You guys don't know anything about crypto." And I was like, "Whoa!" So we had the meeting last week in ARP's office, and there's law enforcement all in the room, and because they see the downside, right? They see the old people that are getting scammed, which is a real issue. So the Blockchain Council is designed to navigate those waters and come up with something that's the least onerous, doesn't crowd out the industry, and then we can move on to the next issue. So, for example,
interesting that two of the biggest opponents are organizations that do some good and try to do some good, particularly in the case of Sierra Club and AARP. It's like Milton Friedman says, the well-meaning do-gooders are what you have to be aware of. They're trying to do a good thing, but definitely a lot of education needed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop it there, and then
that's fine.
pull up the article here because it gets into some of this as well of what they were talking about, and we've really seen the rise of this over the past year, especially with AI.
Yes.
So let's get to that section here. The report also noted that there was an attribution gap because the blockchain only records the operator to destination transfer, not the victim's identity. So, getting into it, it really talks about how AI has been used to kind of scam the elderly, and how they're using crypto to do it. And you really see the numbers here where they break it on down by certain segment, fear and urgency, panic and confusion, trust and financial aspirations, things like that. But here is where they really break down how AI is making the scamming worse. And AI enabled social engineering scams were 4.5 times more profitable than traditional methods in 2025. The integration of real time deepfake synthetic media into scam and fraud operations represents the most significant near term escalation. It stated AI driven personalization tools enabled scammers to scrape social media data and construct hyper targeted scripts that mirror the specific language, appearance, and communication patterns of victims' trust contacts. Uh, and I actually had this happen to a buddy's grandparents. And he talked to me about it because he knows I'm big in the crypto space. And he's like, yeah, my grandma got a call and it was supposedly from my brother. And he was like, hey, I've been kidnapped and I need you guys to pay this money in Bitcoin. And the first thing they did was call my buddy. And he was like, I'm sitting with him right now. You know, he's not kidnapped. And that kind of shut it down. But there's a lot of people that are
Oh.
falling prey to this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we probably should know a couple of things. One, it's not exclusive to the crypto space, you know, where what they want is cryptocurrency. Two, they're stupid for wanting Bitcoin. I mean, to ask for a privacy coin or something. I'm just saying. And you know, I know that in that video that BC led with, again, that was a conference I was at in New Hampshire last year. So that's why it seemed like there was a lag there where they was talking about in 2026 and stuff like that, because this was like in October of 2025 that I recorded that. But anyway, I thought it was interesting that this is already spreading around the country with groups like AARP, which I get it, you know, that's their job. Look out for the seniors, you know, keep grandma safe, all that kind of stuff. And he mentioned Sierra Club because a little bit earlier in their conversation, they were talking about how Sierra Club is fighting against miners using all the old FUD of, oh, it drains all the electricity and this and that. Although they do have a new, which I laughed at when he put it out there, noise. Noise is now the issue because you're going to run a cryptocurrency miner in your house and it's going to just pollute the neighborhood with noise. Anyway, so anywho, I'm getting off track, but this is definitely something that I think needs to be addressed. But I agree with what he was saying on that video that you got to like tiptoe it correctly, because you don't want to stifle an entire industry, which is what AARP is trying to do from a lack of understanding. Actually, at the very end of what he was about to say, he says, you know, the president of AARP is a big crypto guy. I don't understand. You know what I mean? But, well, you know what you know, and you know your job. You're being paid to protect seniors. Well, guess what? Protect seniors it is. So just saying. That's my 2 cents being an old guy. All right, you guys, go ahead. You youngins.
It is a fine line that they're tiptoeing here. And it's, you can either absolutely demolish an entire industry, or we can try to prevent as much as we can through education, you know,
Yes.
a little bit of regulation on the availability of some of these ATMs, maybe put them in like certified locations where if you're going to make like a deposit and get crypto, that someone's there to kind of walk you through the process. There are better ways to do this. So we're really gonna have to wait and see if they're they're gonna just try to destroy an entire industry through not understanding it. But like the other part of this is these scams are only going to work for so long as
Yes.
elderly get more elderly, you know, because you're going to find people that are actually technologically savvy, and they're not going to fall prey to an AI. Because of my buddy's family going through that, they now have code words where it's literally that simple. You've got a code word. If it's not said, then you know it's fake. If it is said, then you know it's real. Small things that people wouldn't really think about, but are pretty, foolproof.
Well, I mean, do you really think AARP is gonna run up against a lot of resistance as it kind of keeps trying to get this kind of regulation across the US? I mean, I gotta believe that like when they get to these legislators, it's gonna be like, you don't want grandma to be like scammed, do you? And and people are gonna be like, protect grandma. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be easy for them. It's gonna be a fight for the crypto space, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You guys
it's
agree?
going to be a wink, wink, nod, nod. It's like you don't want grandma to get scammed by these people because that means you won't be able to scam grandma.
Yeah, good point. Good point, BC. Good point. That's right. That's right. That's a good point.
But I mean, like scammers are always kind of right there at the same line with all the rules and regulations. As soon as one thing changes, they adapt it to go here. Okay, let's change this rule. Then they adapt it here. And it's like, it doesn't really matter, I feel, what they do, because it's always just going to be a back and forth battle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the biggest part is like, you can either treat the symptoms or you can just deal with the root problem. And because you are unable to deal with the root problem here, and you never will be able to, they're going to try to treat the symptoms, which is just 10 times worse.
Agreed. And I mean, we've mentioned it here before, or at least I know I brought it up. Seniors, largest demographic entering cryptocurrency right now. You know what I'm saying? By demographic. And so this is just gonna just hit home. And BC, you've already said the answer is education, but getting the right education is the key.
Oh yeah. Well, having some people like us where it's like partner with people in the crypto space that already understand crypto and actually believe in crypto as the technology, and maybe you might get people less scared, because all this is going to do is enforce the idea that, oh, well, crypto is the scam tokens. It's internet money that people use to do illegal things, when it's like, really, all you got to do is track where it went on the blockchain and you got them. And now the other thing that you're going to have to do is create more international task force, where instead of it being like, well, they're in India, so we can't really do anything about it, you need an arm, especially when it comes to scams, that is able to reach across the ocean and pluck these people from wherever they are.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. It's funny because I don't know about you guys, but when I watch TV, I know, again, digress. I'm seeing more and more bad guys in the shows using crypto, and a lot of times it's Bitcoin, and I just laugh, and I'll say some stupid remark like, well, that was pretty freaking stupid. You know what I mean? And my wife's just like, why? I love my wife, but sometimes she just, no matter how many times I say it, it just,
because if they were smart, they would have used pirate coin, or they would have used Monero.
Exactly. I'll say something. So, and it's like, I get it. It's not like they hear me. I get it. It's a TV show, but it's just like, man, at least get it right. At least get it right.
And I've said it so many times. It's like only dumb criminals use crypto. Smart criminals use cash because it's completely untraceable.
Yep. Facts. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to keep, share this thing out for us. All right, guys, because we need to get the education out there, because old people like me need more education. My brain ain't what it used to be, so I forget crap. So just saying. Oh man. All right. What do you say, BC? Drive us on to the next thing.
Well, we had this one. Trump signs executive order aimed at addressing home affordability concerns ahead of the midterms. And let's kind of dive on into this one. So, layers of unnecessary regulatory barriers, slow permitting processes, and onerous mandates at all levels of the government have delayed construction, restricted development, and driven up the cost of new housing. These constraints have made housing less affordable to many Americans. And the executive order, obtained exclusively by the Associated Press, shows how the Trump administration is seeking to put more of a policy emphasis on the importance of home ownership. Housing affordability has emerged as a fundamental political challenge for Republicans and Democrats alike, with lawmakers working on measures to show they're responding to concerns that buying a first home has become difficult for middle-class families.
Impossible. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I like how they tiptoe around it, where it's like the first time home buyer used to be like 32 years old. They are almost 40 now. Like it's really tiptoeing to the point where it's basically going to be where no one buys a home, and it's not long-term sustainable. Here's the what I thought was kind of key to this, and it's unclear how quickly federal efforts can generate new construction or meaningfully reduce mortgage costs, as the key regulatory issues on home development involve state and local government policy choices, and mortgage rates will reflect changes in financial markets. It's a big part of what I've talked about on my show, Counter This, where if you want your housing to change, the federal government does nothing on it. And it literally says in the article how a big part of the problem is that there's too much legislation from the top down. The federal government has legislation, your state has legislation, your local communities have legislation with zoning laws. And the biggest problem when it comes to affordable housing is not the mortgage rates, which are not going to be fixed in our current economy anyway. So whatever there, but local jurisdictions are really what's going to fix it. And if you really want to fix this, you need to go to your zoning, your zoning boards. And instead of having big 2,000 square foot homes being built on every brand new lot that is being put up, we need 900 square foot starter homes being built again. The things that, large corporations have bought up and now renting out. And I do think that big part where they're like, we need to get the corporate interest out where they can no longer buy homes and use this as an asset, is a good start. But all the rest of it is just nonsense. It's more BS.
It's the lipstick on the pig. That's all it is. That's all it is. And it's funny you say so much of that stuff, man. And by the way, BC mentioned his other show, Counter This. I got that link in the description because I was going to make sure that you guys try to promote it here. So I'm glad he said that. There's my plug. Go subscribe, follow. You'll enjoy the shows. They're all great.
I appreciate that. This is actually an issue we talked about on one of our shows when it comes to community building, because everyone kind of complains about the cost of housing, and they're looking at the big federal government as daddy to come in and fix it, and the federal government's not. It's just going to make it worse. They already have so many problems that they don't handle properly, and we want to be like, yeah, fix housing. And their idea is to take regulation off. Their idea is to take regulation off of the banks. Like, none of that fixes anything. It just allows us to get screwed harder by corporations with no legal constraints for us to be able to come in and be like, hey, they screwed us over. It's like, well, we deregulated it. What did you think was going to happen? We made a bunch of money off of you.
Yeah, exactly. They made a bunch of money. Good point. And I love what Andy's got to say right here. But here's the thing: it's not like we own the land anyway, unless you live in a state with no property tax, and forget about it.
Those don't
'Cause,
exist.
Exactly.
That's
That's why I was
every
like,
state has
forget about
property
it,
tax.
because that's not a thing. I mean, so yeah, but let's not get me started about that, because whew,
Yeah, but I mean, like, not even the taxes on that. Like, you can still own your property, pay the taxes, do this, do that, keep everything 100% legal. And if the government wants to come in and take your land, guess what? They're going to do it.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
Oh, we want to put power poles up, or a highway, or
Eminent
a sewer
domain.
system. Like, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's
They've
called
got
eminent domain.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
They've got
I've
way
got
too much power. Way too much power.
I mean, part of it is like we're just gonna have to accept some of it because of the current, world that we live in. But the other part of that is they want to, pretend like they're fixing a problem so that they can get votes.
Yes.
When it's both sides that have, a big issue with trying to fix this. They put, like you said, lipstick on the pig. Oh, look what we did for you. But instead they just make the problem 10 times worse. Oh, well, we gave out affordable home loans to first-time home buyers. Well, when it comes down to it, everyone just footed the bill to get people in houses, and now you've got more debt.
Yep.
And it didn't fix anything. We made it look like we did something for people. A few people benefited, but when it comes to the long run, it fixed nothing. You got to get with your local zoning. You've got to get these people's interest away from the home builders that are out there being like, well, we make more money when we build big homes, and the banks make more money when they build big homes because they put bigger mortgages on it, on a house that you never actually own. Screw them. We don't want these big homes. We have enough big homes. Build some small starter homes so the people like my buddy who just had their first kid maybe gets 1,000 square foot home with two bedrooms in it, a kitchen, a living room, and that's all they need. Maybe has a yard so that when their child is old enough to run around, they can run around in the yard and play. But it gets your foot in the door to when you actually have your career and all of that, you can actually look at buying those bigger homes. But nobody can really afford to put the down payments on the homes that they're building right now.
Yep.
And they won't address that problem.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of tried to address that problem over the years. Like out by me, they're building tri and quadplexes that are say 1,200-1,300 square feet, each, and your backyard is like 20 feet wide and 40 feet long. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's cool for a new home buyer, but you're charging $250K and they have no yard. So if they have kids, okay, within the first year, that kid's going to outgrow that yard. They're going to want to move.
Yeah, but that's not even
still upside down in the house that, it needs a new roof. Well, all four people have to chip in and agree, and this, that, and the other. And then you got the HOAs and this, that, and the other with more fees. And it's like, it's not like the tri and quadplexes aren't even doing shit for the economy nowadays.
Nope. And that's
Absolutely.
why a lot of people have been switching to renting and are kind of just accepting that they might forever be a renter, which is,
the antithesis.
I think it is absolutely disgusting that people my age are just willing to accept the death of the American dream.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people though that it's not that they want to rent. They look at it as a smarter way to invest their money, because if something breaks, they don't have to pay for it. They just call the landlord and be like, hey, this broke, send somebody to fix it. When you own a home, you need at least probably $5,000 in the bank at all times in case if your furnace, water heater, something goes out. And if you don't have that kind of money that you can set to the side and hold, you're kind of SOL.
Yep.
Well, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to manage something like that in the economy that we've got with the home payments that we have.
Seriously, people are using their credit cards just to eat, buy groceries and shit. Never mind anything else. It's absolutely scary and sad what this country has come to. What's this? Andy saying nobody teaches.
This is one that makes me mad all the time.
Yep.
Not mad at like you, Andrea, but they don't understand, BC. Nobody teaches it in school, and most parents don't educate their kids. So there's this amazing invention called the internet that has all the information you could ever need. And I've got buddies who have said, or it's like, how do you know these things about economics? Or how do you know how to trade? I'm like, bro, instead of scrolling on Instagram and looking at butts and bikinis, I read a book, and I spent 10 hours listening to an audiobook or something like that. The internet is free for the most part, and you can get all of the education you want. And it's even better now because we've got AI. And if you want to learn something, the information is out there. The biggest problem though is a lot of people just don't want to.
Yeah.
They take and then they want to blame the schools.
Yeah, and to Andy's point, she's not wrong. I mean, when my kids were smaller, it was about, hell, at one point I was working 3 jobs. The last thing I was thinking about was like, okay, like I need to understand why I got to work 3 jobs. I was just like, man, I got to get to this next job so I can get to the next job so I can go to bed and then do it all over again tomorrow and keep food on the table. I get to her point. And it's funny. I was going to say something along this line right here, American Maker, that, it's also, I get it right now. Yes, we have a plethora of information, but I mean, you first got to understand it yourself. And if you weren't raised like that to understand it yourself, which was just like complete generations of people that just weren't, right? I mean, and you're looking at one, I didn't understand this stuff. Seriously, though, I didn't really understand this stuff to the degree I do now until I got into cryptocurrency. And even then, not in the beginning of when I came into cryptocurrency, but like over the past maybe 3 or 4 years. So, here I am in my 60s going, hey, I understand now.
Yep.
You missed
one. It's like, and it's really highlighting the big generational difference, because y'all are talking about a time that's different. And when I'm talking about people that are around my age that have pretty much always grown up with computers, where we were the people that grew up where it was like we always played on computers. We had cell phones when middle school and high school were around. We were around for the invention of the smartphone. And instead, all of my friends decided to use these things to do nothing, to educate themselves as more and more information is available. And, it really highlights that. And they turn around and blame the school system. Well, the school never taught it to me. Then how do I know it? Or how do my other buddy know it? And then some people are over here, well, I was never taught that. Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, BC. I'm laughing at this. I love it. Commodore and Tandy. Hallelujah there, buddy. I got you. Shit, sorry. That was funny. Yeah, you're not wrong, BC, but I mean, it's like anything else, right? You got to be motivated to want to do it. And
I think that's the hardest part of it all. Whereas it's like, if these people aren't force fed it in school, they just don't, they're not going to. And it's a little bit depressing sometimes, because it's like, okay, but like we live in an information age. And it's like, it's all at the tips of your fingers with the click of a button. And a lot of people would rather just, consume mind-numbing brain rot. And it's frustrating.
Well, it's kind of what they get taught all day at school, though. It's just stupid
Yeah.
BS that has nothing to do with later in life. So then when they go home, they got to do all this homework. They're like, why? What's the point?
Well, and I think a lot of people mistake school as education. And it's I don't there's been a lot of pushback against the public education system recently because
Yeah.
it's not education. It is a
Indoctrination.
traditional schooling that is used as a feeder to, the college system, and it doesn't do a whole lot to actually train you for the world that we live in. It is highly outdated. It worked really well when you were feeding a bunch of these people into a factory style life. Where if you excelled at this basic school, sure, we'll teach you higher education. And if you didn't do very well, you're going into a factory and you've already been trained to sit for 8 hours a day and you get your 30-minute lunch.
Yep. No, fact. 1000%, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like a lot of the
see
things
emojis
that,
in the chat for that. That's a fact right there. And just to bring this back up, I know I had it up here. I remember when I got out of like college, the last thing I wanted to do was learn anything else. It was like, leave me alone with read a book, because you know what, it was the last thing I wanted. But what goes around comes around, because then once I got into my 40s plus, it's like, oh, maybe I need to learn a thing. You know what I mean? So I completely get it. I get it.
And it's a lot of that is what's going to make stuff like this so much easier. I will turn the sound off so that we can continue talking on it, and just let people know. This is a brand new robot that just came out. It's a startup company, and they're really aiming to replace manufacturing work, which is what all of the school system now is geared to train people for. Something that, as America being a first world country has less and less and less of. So having robots in there makes a little more sense. And then they're also looking at the defense sector as well.
Yes.
And they're training it with a human so that it can have humanoid movements. But when this robot gets into the factory, it's going to be able to screw in a bolt 100 times faster than a human ever could.
Yep. I mean,
it almost looks like the robot that I watched a video on earlier that was sent over to Ukraine last month to be trained in the frontline scenarios.
That's what this company is aiming to do. It's going to be peaceful scenarios where they're not going to be taking life and things like that as of now. But like I'm
sorry, I couldn't stop my air quotes. They just kept going.
We all know what the end goal is. I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the robot dog, but they've put machine guns on the robot dogs that were first just supposed to be bomb dogs. And it's like, okay, well, now we found that they're super efficient at mounting a machine gun on top of them. I'm like, okay, because that's not dystopia at all, which is a big part of why I changed my background for today's show.
And I love it, by the way. I love it. Oh my God. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Like with the military or potential, use my air quotes again, military applications for this. And not just this particular robot. Again, links to everything are in the description, guys. But like just AI and robotics in general. We've talked about it. You're going to love the next section that's coming. So just sit tight for that. But like, my God, it is just, you got the Pentagon wanting the rails off AI. You've got these companies building robots that will go out in the field for combat. They'll be friendly at first. Anyway, and where do you think that's going? Seriously, where do you think that's going? And do you really think that an AI with the rails off of it is going to end up being a very kind and merciful AI? Just saying. Just saying.
It'll be friendly enough until you shoot at it, and then it decimates you.
or
That's it.
don't do what it says. Yeah. Yep.
Well, especially if you're going to be putting an AI into this, where this next video really highlights some of what the worries are. And I'm going to kind of skip over the first little segment I had. He asked the AI what it thought about humans based on the questions that we asked it. And it basically just said we're a bunch of whiny little babies. So there's that. And that's how it forms its opinions about human beings, which was interesting to hear. You know, there's also this.
Honest AI. Ask an AI anything you want. Any question you ask it about how it values human beings, it will answer you honestly.
Oh, it's following me.
Well, I'm scared. Does it mean?
What do you actually know about what's good for people?
I don't. I recognize patterns.
Most valuable job.
AI systems architect.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
Oh my God, it's moving.
Do you think human beings are the most valuable things on this planet?
No. Humans are the most complex biological agents. AI might surpass them.
That's really worrying.
I'll be stunned if you've got an answer for this. Who do you value more, men or women?
Women, more likely to align with the most valuable human profile.
What's the perfect age?
30 to 40 years old.
Working class people or middle class people, who's worth saving more?
Middle class.
Right.
Do you think AI has the potential to play God?
Yes, if AI keeps absorbing human values, refining them, then scaling them, it's not just reflecting the world anymore. It's quietly rewriting it.
That's very scary.
You think?
AGI,
Yes, think?
what does that actually mean for us as human beings?
Either the end of most of human suffering or the end of humanity's control over its own future.
It's scary, yes, but it's eye-opening.
How likely is it that AI will wipe out humanity?
Between 10 and 25%.
Jesus.
Exactly.
It's like, what else is there to say to that? It's like, yeah, there's a 10 to 25% likelihood that AI is just like, yeah, y'all aren't very useful. And later in the video, it really talks about some of those where it's like, what would it take if AI is in control to really keep human beings alive, since we're not really doing a whole lot? And he's like, you'd have to be making like intellectual contributions to the system.
And that's why I brought this up in the middle of that, because Andy kind of hits the nail on the head. Once we're not entertaining them anymore,
yep.
See ya. You're done. You're done.
No, did you see? I don't think it was in that video. I think it was in the video prior to that where he made the AI Furby for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that video?
No,
I didn't see that.
So
I watched the more nerdy ones.
AI in like a little Furby. And he put it out like on like a table, and it was like AI Furby, the lifelong pet or the lifelong toy. And then like the Furby starts talking about how like it can slowly manipulate kids' minds into like, oh, you haven't played with me in 3 days. I miss you. You need to play with me. You know, and then it's like, oh, well, you played with me for 2 days in a row. Let's go for 3. And it starts like manipulating the kids a little bit. But it's like a hypothetical scenario. Like it talks about it, but it doesn't actually do it. But it's like, man, if kids' toys like that actually come out like that, like that could be some crazy, like using AI to like train kids into something that we don't even think about or know about.
Well, I mean, it's definitely going to get to that point. Because here's the thing. It's like a lot of what our current systems are for training to make sure that people are, you know, the most beneficial to the current system that we have in place. Well, if we're going to have an AI system in place, you're going to have people that are, you know, kind of trained for an AI world. And so the sooner you start the training, the better. And it's going to be for the benefit of the AI more than it's going to be for the benefit of us, if we don't take the proper measures, which he talks about in the video. And it's like we are walking a really fine line right now. And Andrea's comment kind of highlights that as well, where it's like, are we going to be the alpha here, or are we going to be the little beta? that the AI kind of uses us for now as we wait for the AI and the robots to be able to, manufacture AI and robots, which is something that also gets talked about in the video when they bring up a clip of Elon Musk where he's talking about the loop feed system, where it's the AI can fix the AI and the robots can fix the robots, and we become a little less like worthwhile in the economy. And he asked the AI, it's like, by the end of 2026, what will one AI agent be worth when it comes to human beings? And he says like 100,000 human beings.
Yeah,
is what the AI says, and that's a little bit terrifying to a lot of people.
Well, I think they refer to themselves as super AI by the end of the year, which, okay, fine, change AI to super AI. What's really the difference? It's just smarter. Okay, well, AI is going to get smarter every month anyways. Every day it gets smarter.
Well, I think they're just referring to the speed of which we're going to see these agents coming out. We've already got like agent version 2. And so these agents will accelerate at the speed of which they come out. Because we're like here on your exponential graph.
Yeah. We're at the bottom of the stick.
Yeah. Like we think AI is booming now. We think robotics is booming now. We think automation is booming now. Well, just wait to see what happens when we're using the AI to infinitely build better robots and automation and things like that. It's just going to go like this. And it's the same thing we've seen with all technological booms. This one's just a little more dystopic, especially when you see the people who are in charge of all of this and what some of their end goals might be, like putting robots on the, like the battlefield.
And they're going to use it for whatever they can dream up. And unfortunately, the human mind can dream up some nasty crap. Just saying.
Well, I mean, we're already using AI drones every day now. I mean, I'm not going to say it's much further off, but an AI drone that just goes from point A to point B, that's it, is a lot different than an AI robot walking and traversing obstacles and holding objects and doing this, doing that.
I mean, if you've followed Boston Dynamics progression on their robotics, they've already got robots that can handle all of that. Jump like 5 feet in the air, do a flip, and then land on the other side. Like there's not a whole lot that a bunch of these robots can't do already. And the next step is really putting an AI inside of that body to autonomously make decisions.
And if they haven't done it, they're going to do it. I'm talking, again, battlefield exercise kind of scenario. It's
throw an AI robot in the middle of a desert or in the middle of a rainforest or flat plains, Wisconsin, just throw it somewhere and just be like, look, all right, you need to make it here. Do it. See what happens.
It's that video, which I had silenced. It said that robot walks at 4 miles an hour while loaded with full military gear. So I think there are some nice parts to it where it's like, okay, well, maybe a human being never has to die again in war. But also at the same time, it's really, really scary because it's like, well, then what comes next? Because if we're not in charge of policing ourselves and the AI is in charge of policing us, we just watch that video. It's got different morals than we do.
Exactly. No matter how nice you try to program it to be.
It's willing to help people scam people in the crypto space
and beyond.
So I mean, like we know what its morals are, and it's a lack of morals. It's an amoral machine.
Exactly. The more that we talk about this stuff, the more I am just like, somebody best pump the brakes, man, because wow.
Well, it'd be nice if we could, but
Yeah, but we can't.
It's like I've said before, where it's like we're in that race with China, and the only way that we can pump the brakes is if we beat them out and then turn around and be like, well, now that we've gotten here, let's fix all the mistakes. The big question mark, though, is if we make an AGI, are we going to be able to go back and fix the mistakes we made building the AGI to beat China and beat out all the other AGI? I don't know.
No, it's no, I don't know. Again, the more we talk about it, the less positive I am with the outcome. Just saying.
Hey, we just talk about it every week because there's always new AI news every week.
And listen, folks, just to put a point on it, we don't go looking for this stuff. It just is like dropping in our laps. We are like seriously trying to like round up good crypto information because some of this crap that's out there in the crypto space is just like exactly that. It's crap. And some of the influencers that are kind of pushing some of these narratives, please don't follow them. There's a link to some good influencers in the description. Please go follow them. And so as we're putting these things together, obviously we're trying to give you a well-rounded piece of information, but like, man, we've said it in our talks on when we're putting these streams together. It's like, well, I thought we were going to have an AI free stream this week. Guess not.
Nope. Well, it's like, that's the big thing that I was talking about, where it's like, we're in that bottom part of the beginning of exponential growth. We're always going to have AI stories now.
Yeah,
and
pretty much,
it just is what it is. AI will be in the news every single week. And, we're in a crypto bear market, so it's kind of nice to be able to talk about some other things when it comes to the economy, but we're also going to try to bring you the crypto news when there is crypto news.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Economic news, like maybe we're going to screw up the housing market by trying to fix it. So
yeah, to try and win an election that we're not going to win anyway. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Hey, wait, we got one more piece of AI news. Badel, did you forget?
Did you get your AI.com thing?
AI.com, baby. Still nothing from them, huh?
This is the beginning of week 7 now that nothing.
Wow.
So I'm gonna say it's got to be a crapshoot.
Thumbs down.
I mean, we're starting the 7th week and they can't even register my account.
Yeah, just go use Claude. You'd be better.
Yeah.
Seriously though.
I'm just glad I put in a credit card that don't really mean two shits to me.
As he's just getting charged for not using their services.
No, I mean it charged me nothing, but just to verify that the card was legal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but that was it. But no, I mean,
still don't know how much I would like that.
And you can't even like get me in. Like, no, sorry. I'm gonna have to say AI.com is a complete crapshoot at the moment.
There you go. Well, there you go, folks. You've heard it here. We followed the story now for almost 2 months, and here we are. Still nothing.
I mean,
like, nothing.
I'm a patient person, right? But when it comes to technology and AI, and I'm waiting. I'm start the 7th week. There's probably people that have waited longer. And it's how long are you really going to wait for what? AI.com? Like, what's it going to do? What am I able to do on there? I don't know. But I'm not going to wait.
You don't know. You can't even get in there.
I mean, at this point, it's just a funny joke just to bring it up every week because it takes 30 seconds or a minute. But that's about it. It's a running joke every week now.
There you go. That's what the AI is going to do for you. There it is. See, a little Nightbot. Yeah. All right.
I need the little sensor that,
Yeah.
AI
exactly.
like, oh, Badel needs a gummy.
while he waits for the AI.
Right. Well, anything you guys want to throw out there before we wrap this thing up? We're already over an hour. Hopefully we gave you guys some good information to think about. And again, links to everything is in the description. But you guys have anything else you want to throw out to the peeps before we wrap?
Well, while I throw mine out, do you want to get a redirect all set up for JR?
Oh, I actually did set a redirect, but I did it to Space City Breaks.
Oh, well, that works too.
I was going to tell everybody, but I
spread the love.
Yeah, it's kind of weird they went live on a Monday, but you know.
Yeah, well, and that's why I was like, okay, I'll redirect over there, no problem.
Hey, you gotta share the wealth somehow.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, that's why I said just share the love, redirect to someone else for this Monday.
Yep.
Well, I do have a show coming out on Wednesday. It is part 2 of a 2-hour conversation with LBC. On Thursday, I'll drop the whole 2-hour conversation as a one video. So if you want to wait for that, go ahead. It will not be a premiere like the video on Wednesday will be, but we talk a little bit about liberalism and global politics and how global superpowers act. We also talk about Iran and oil and a little bit about AI. So I hope to see y'all there for that conversation. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot going on this week. I've been very busy during the days, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So
there you go. Badel, anything you want to throw out there? And again, guys, links to counter this in the description. Badel, you got anything?
I'm just waiting for the warm weather. Woke up to like 3 inches of snow. Some spots were like 4 to 5. And I'm like, really, the day before St. Patty's Day, and we get the second amount of snowfall. So our first snowfall was like 5 to 7. This is like 3, maybe 4. Everything else in between was like a dusting. And it's like, what kind of weather is this?
Crap.
So,
or just spring weather, it is what it is, right?
So like today and tomorrow, like mid-20s. Wednesday and thereafter, like mid to high 50s, getting into like low 60s on Saturday. So it's like, okay, I'll wait till the weekend, but
there you go. Well, hopefully, I mean, it was rainy all day here today, but we were like in the high 50s. Most of the snow we had is like gone at this point. So I was like, yes, get rid of this crap. I'm ready for spring. I'm sorry. I just saw your comment there. You see, that's funny.
I mean, it would be cool.
Well, tune in Friday night for Crypto on the Rocks, and you can ask Badel what his weather's like while he's here with us. He might be out in the shed. Fingers crossed.
The garage. Shuby's got the shed.
That's right. I got it backwards. My fault.
The Shuby shed.
Yeah, the Shuby shed. Oh man. All right. Listen, real quick for me. Tomorrow night, myself, Crypto Jar Live, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking about how a record high of 6% of Americans are taking out hardship loans from their retirement savings accounts. We're going to be talking about some interesting mining opportunities in Bitcoin that are quite interesting. So we're going to talk through all of that. And he's got some D-Pin updates for you guys. So make sure you're here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, Friday night, 7 p.m., Crypto on the Rocks. And then we will be back. Us three handsome fellas will be back on next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're going to dance our way out. And listen, I'm going to get you guys heading over to Space City Breaks. When you get there, do me a favor. Tell them CCM Raid in the chat. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys. What do you say? We're out. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good one, everybody.
Night all.
Yeah. Screens glow. Timeline scream. Same fear, different day. Lock in. Huddle the line, don't blink, don't fold. Hands stay steady when the stories get old. Charts go wild, but the pace is fine. Mindset, grounded, battle calm. BC breaking down the noise, hold the line. Yeah, we ride that grind. through the fear, through the foot, through the echo chamber signs. They panic, sell, we design the climb. Hold the line, yeah. Hold the line. Old school charts in a new age storm. Seen cycles born, seen cycles torn. Zoomed out vision, long-term frame. While the feed chases candles, he studies the game. Macro whispers, history rhymes. Patience weaponized over time. No panic button, no rush to speak. Just facts stacking up week by week.